Next up, Russ and I are going to give our Halloween recommendations of 2023. Welcome back to 4K Kings. My name is Matt.
I am Russ.
And welcome to your home of physical media, movie reviews, and spooky recommendations.
Oh yeah, it's that time of the year, Matt.
It is that time of the year. We're here in October, and we're excited to share some spooky recommendations with the people at home.
I wouldn't even call them recommendations. I would call them assignments. And watch these or die.
Make it quick. I gotta take a shit.
And just for the people at home that may or may not have known, we have done this in the past. Last year, we did Halloween A through Z, one Halloween title for every letter of the alphabet, and we shared that with all of you. And today, we're going to slim it back just a little bit, and we're going to talk about a few genres that we enjoy and a couple of picks from each of those.
But before we get started on that, Matt, we are slowly encroaching upon 4K. It's our first goal, but not our last. And in celebration, we will be doing a live stream. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. We want to discuss, talk, connect with as many of you as possible.
That was beautiful. Thank you for everyone that continues to come back and enjoy what you're seeing here and giving us a thumbs up and dropping a thoughtful comment when you do. That's what keeps us going.
That's right.
So now, Russ, time for some spooky picks. I should dim the lights or turn them red or something. Should I do some?
Oh shit.
Now it's time to get a little spooky with the lighting now changed. So let's just jump right in, Russ. So we've got a few genres that we're going to run through, and then we're going to give our recommendations to the people here. And if you got a different pick, let us know what your recommendations are for Halloween. Share it with everyone down below as well, and tell us what our assignments are. First up, we'll start with the ghost story. My ghost story pick is called The Orphanage. Have you seen that?
I have not. I'm aware of it. Del Toro produced it, right?
Correct. And I was kind of hard pressed to pick a good ghost story too. I was thinking a lot about, ghost stories that I've seen, and I've pretty much seen the ones that everybody kind of knows. And this was even ones that Del Toro has done, like The Devil's Backbone.
I just thought, man, maybe I should have recommended Devil's Backbone.
That's obviously a really good one as well. But this one is Del Toro adjacent, not directed by, like you said, it's produced by him, but it's got the same vibe, the same feel. You can tell that this is not Del Toro, but it's in that world, especially because it came out around the same time as Pan's Labyrinth. So it kind of has that sort of feel. A lot of the imagery, it all kind of looks very similar. Nonetheless, it is very, very good. I would not put it above a Pan's Labyrinth or something, but it is very worthwhile watching. The ghost story element is cool. The main lead actress, this is a Spanish language film. The main lead actress is excellent. There's a little bit of a twist element that goes on towards the end to resolve the film. But in general, it is solid. So if you're a fan of Del Toro and you want to see a new ghost story, check that one out. I think you might really like it. If you disagree because you have seen it and didn't like it, let me know that too.
I've always wanted to check it out, and because I'm a big fan of Devil's Backbone. I'm a big fan of Pan's Labyrinth.
Yep. If you like his Spanish language films,
check this out.
95% chance you'll at least like this. You might watch it and say that was good, or you might say that was great, but you're not going to dislike it if you like those movies. No chance.
I'll check it out.
Check it out.
Thank you for the rec, man.
You're welcome. What ghost film would you like to recommend to the people this year?
I had to think about this one long and hard, Matt, because I guess I realized I'm not a big ghost story horror guy.
Okay.
It's either that or they truly don't make many of them. My pick's going to come out of left field, and I genuinely recommend this to everyone. It's called Feartown, USA. Now, ultimately, this film is a comedy. It's a indie, low budget horror spoof. You will know nobody in it. It looks like it was shot on, I wouldn't say a phone, but whatever the step up from that would be. But damn, it has a lot of heart. It is funny. I mean, it is legitimately funny. It's a group of girls. One of their friends killed themselves by drinking bleach because she thought she was too fat. She haunts her friends, these girls, and they're supposed to be teen girls. You're too fat to live. Kill yourself. It's like,
yeah.
So
You're too fat to live.
a lot of storylines going, kind of revolving around this party. The reason why I recommend it, normally I would say, hey, this is just something I would enjoy. Mm-hmm. I watched it with my wife, who, when I say she is a casual film fan, especially if something low budget, she is not the type that it holds her attention. She actually asked to watch this again recently. She enjoyed it so much and thought it was so funny. I'd like to see it get a wider audience. It was released on Blu-ray in a 2-pack with the follow-up film that the filmmaker did, which was another comedy called The Slashing, which was also good. I think Fear Town is better, but The Slashing is definitely worth a watch as well. The ghost element is really funny. That recurring ghost of the vain dead girl who's trying to tell everyone to kill themselves because they're too fat. Like with the vocal fry and everything. Like it's funny. I dug it.
Well, that sounds like a great ghost story, Russ.
I want to talk more about pussy crushing.
How about psychological horror?
Don't understand it.
There's a lot of good ones in this category as well, but one that I always am very uncomfortable by and do enjoy watching from time and time again, and that is Funny Games. And I'm talking about the US language remake. I have seen the original. This is a great psychological, uncomfortable sort of film where the main antagonists are basically antagonizing the people within this home. This could be considered, like you said, a home invasion as well, but basically a lot of funny games are played and they're just being fucked with the whole time. It's got Naomi Watts, it's got Tim Roth. Again, very unsettling in how these guys kind of come into these two people's lives and basically torture them for the entire movie in very strange, bizarre ways. And it has always kind of stayed with me how kind of freaky it is. It's not for everybody. It's very, in a weird way, tongue-in-cheek too, with ways that they resolve some of the things.
Is. That's why I love it.
Points.
It's not even tongue-in-cheek. I would say it. The thing I love about this movie, it hates the audience.
Correct.
And that's what I love about it.
It does.
I'm serious. It does. Everything is almost damn near an anti-payoff. But it does. It's unsettling because it lingers for so long on things that we're conditioned to believe is going to give us something different. It's really testing the audience on what do you find this shit entertaining.
And I feel like that's why the title is also great, because he's playing funny games with us.
Oh, definitely.
Like the main antagonists break the fourth wall, look at you, talk to you about what they're doing. It's very, like you said, they're playing with a lot of these things. And as soon as there is any kind of resolution that you're like, oh, that's how, nope, let's just change it, even in ways that are very jarring and ways that you wouldn't expect. And I think that is what makes this movie great, is it's not anything that is like anything you've seen. You don't know what to expect next. It kind of leaves you feeling like not good, like in any real way.
No, not at all.
And that's why it's cool.
That's true.
And one thing I always took away, I love the one scene in it. It involves Naomi Watts, and I'm not trying to spoil anything, but this scene must go on for like 3 minutes of her just kind of squirming. And again, it's like this director is saying, fuck you. Any normal movie would have cut this immediately and kept it brief, but no, we're focusing on this.
Yeah.
And it's, like you said, you're either going to love it or hate it. But if you're in on it, I think it's incredible too.
I get it. Isn't that enough?
Russ, give me your anthology.
My anthology, again, I am not a fan of anthology horror films. Not very, very few. But there is one standout that I think does deserve to be seen at least once in everyone's lifetime. And that is the TV film from the 1970s, Trilogy of Terror, starring Karen Black. If you haven't seen this is a landmark TV film. I mean, it's ranked as like the top 5. It was a talked about thing in the 70s. It's 3 stories, all starring Karen Black in different roles. One of them, she's playing twins. But the main one everyone remembers, the main one that seeped into pop culture over the years, is the last one with the little voodoo doll.
It's a genuine Zuni fetish doll. I found it in a curio shop on 3rd Avenue.
You know,
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Little spear.
Like, fucking with her and all that. And the whole damn thing is worth watching just for that segment alone. But I fucking dig Karen Black. I think she's incredible in this movie. It wouldn't be a chore to watch it if you've never seen it. I know hearing TV movie might to me this film is historical. You know, it's not going to scare you, but it's in that Halloween spirit. I think all anthologies are like that.
Yeah.
And very few anthologies really try to hit you over the fucking head.
No.
You know, I own it. I picked up the Kino release. Definitely worth watching.
I guess some people enjoy violence, lead perverted lives.
How about a slasher film, Russ? Who do you got for slasher?
You know, I immediately was going to say Sleepaway Camp because that's I believe it's my favorite slasher of all time. There's a little bit of a caveat there. Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorite films of all time, top 10. But I'm going to start a conversation. I'm going to go with Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child.
So why are you recommending this one to the people, Russ?
I love every Nightmare on Elm Street film, and it would be foolish of me to come in here and big up the original. It'd be foolish of me to do Part 3, Dream Warriors, because that's a fan favorite. It would be foolish of me to do 2, even though that's my favorite sequel, because we've done some revisionist history and people now respect 2. 4, as you said, has fans, and Rennie Harlan is probably, besides Craven, the best director to do a Nightmare on Elm Street film. Freddy's Dead is comedic and over the top, and this is going to piss off some Nightmare on Elm Street fans. I think New Nightmare is a tad bit overrated.
What are you talking about?
So I'm going with 5. Even though the Freddy makeup is the worst in 5, I liked, there are tones in it that almost have a gothic feel, lighting wise and all that. And that's not present in any of the other sequels. I always loved the Greta kill scene. The girl was going to be a model.
Oh, yeah, that's
and he's
gross.
like in the refrigerator.
That's gross.
Bon appetit, bitch. I love that. I don't think anybody gives Nightmare 5 enough. It doesn't deserve all credit, but I want to start the discussion and say Nightmare on Elm Street 5 is not half as bad as everyone makes it out to be. This Halloween, rewatch Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5.
We'll see, bitch.
I'm going to recommend a science fiction horror film, Russ, that I know that you can stand behind as well.
Oh, I don't know. I think they want to see us fight.
Under the Skin.
Okay.
Under the Skin, I can't shout this film out enough. I have this on a measly ass Blu-ray, and I hope one day someone puts this out not only in 4K, but really does something nice for it. It's such striking imagery, such a great eerie ass soundtrack. If you don't know what this is, it's a Scarlett Johansson film where she plays an alien, basically down on Earth, picking off dudes one at a time for unknown reasons. And you kind of learn a little bit more about her as the movie goes on and what she's doing. But mainly the feeling of the film, the vibe of it, the tone of it is just very strange and bizarre and interesting to watch and hear and listen and just see it all unfold. This is sort of in that vein of you might love it or you might hate it. It's definitely polarizing for sure. But if you're looking for something different to watch and you haven't seen this, I would highly recommend Under the Skin.
And you're right, I can back this, and I will back it with 3 words. Lipstick to Void. This soundtrack, this score, monumental. This may be one of my favorite scores ever. If you remove that music, this movie could potentially be a mess. And I think this music is insane. I've listened to the soundtrack more than I've seen the movie, and wow, that's a good rec. I could see Criterion putting that out. For some weird reason in my head, I can picture Criterion doing that.
The day that someone puts this out, we will absolutely do a full review of it. Whenever that occurs, we'll cover it for sure. It's one of like my favorite sort of horror, science fiction-y, like strange, polarizing movies that have come out in the last few years. I definitely recommend it.
It's definitely polarizing because if you know this, Matt, when I first saw it, I kind of did a 180 on it. My first viewing, it left me cold, and I was like, I don't know. Like you said, it kind of stayed with me, and I kept thinking about it and that soundtrack, and I ended up watching it again, and I'm on, yep, you converted me, so.
Converted.
It was everything I'd hoped it would be.
So, Russ, let's hit him with one last recommendation, and I'll give you the pick.
I've got body horror, Matt.
Body odor?
Body odor, I have that as well. So I think if you're our age and you hear body horror, David Cronenberg is the first thing that pops in your head, right?
Sure.
I mean, the first. Those are easy. I think we've talked about Videodrome on this channel more than I've watched Videodrome.
Yeah, it turns me on.
So I'm going to skip Cronenberg. Even though I could. We could go The Brood, we could go Shivers, we could go, on and on. I'm going with Excision. 2012, I believe, starring Annalyn McCord, Tracy Lords, John Waters, Malcolm McDowell. There's a lot of people in this movie. It made a splash upon its initial release. I know it made a splash. I didn't catch it first release. I caught it a couple years afterward. But it's about a teenage girl who is troubled, to say the least, has a fixation on blood. She's so obsessed with blood, she wants to lose her virginity on her period, convinces a guy to do so, becomes ostracized after that in some ways. She's just a giant social misfit. It's almost like this quasi-teen film mixed with a body horror film. You may be asking the body horror aspect. I mean, I think the blood and all that, her fixation with a lot of fantasies about it. The ending of this movie is terrifying. I say that because I watched this film. I have a dark sense of humor. I was laughing with this movie entirely up until the end. I was still laughing, and I'm recommending it. I love it, but the ending was so special because it's truly horrific what this character does, and it kind of comes out of left field, and the way it's shot, the way the acting, Annalyn McCord is incredible in this movie. It's very jarring, and it was so jarring, I'm going to bring up my wife again, because like I said, when I do recommendations, I like to test them on casual people as well. My wife hated this movie, especially the ending, because it made her so uncomfortable, and it was so unsettling to her. And if I even found that ending a bit unsettling, I know that's a good horror movie.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome. I'm just gonna say.
And you got the comedy in there too, which is dark and funny. That's up my alley. If any of that sounds appealing to you, you will not be disappointed with the film Excision. Have you seen it, Matt?
I haven't, but that sounds excellent.
I thought you had seen it.
I've never seen that, but I like how that sounds. I'm going to have to check it out too. Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you for all those selections, Russ.
Thank you for yours, Matt.
And let us know if you've seen any of those films. If you're going to check them out this Halloween, let us know what you're playing this Halloween. Throw it down in the comments below. Hope you have a happy Halloween. Check our community page where we're going to be talking about our live stream, the dates, the times, and all that good stuff. Make sure you have notifications on so you can see when those posts go up, as well as us putting it out on our Instagram page once we have a date locked in. So you can come and hang out with us while we do a live show to celebrate our 4,000 subscribers.